It's the J Bass Today Show. Get ready for a good time, a good time. It's the J Bass Today Show. Get ready to ride.
Season's greetings and God bless you to each of you. Welcome to the J Bass Today Show. Welcome to the J Bass Today Show. Thank God so much for another opportunity to be here and to share with you all. I almost let the time go by without getting this done early enough for a 2 p.m. Episode premiere on YouTube. So stay tuned. But right now we are live on Facebook on the J. Bass page. All right. So those of you who are followers of that page, thank you so much for tuning in, and also ask that you would continue to like and share the content you see on this page. Truly, God is working some miracles in our lives, and I'm so grateful. I'm grateful to see what he is doing and how he is working things out, how he's turning things around. Just being able to see him moving. I've recently heard as well, he is a moving God. He's always moving, always, always. There's always progress. And so honor God for that. We honor God for that. I want to say something that I heard and it was said to me yesterday. And I needed to hear it. I needed to hear it because I'd been feeling like, God, you're going to have to show me what to do, how to handle this. And the truth is, God didn't have to show. My job is to just keep walking, not to worry. That was one of the things that this particular minister said. And then also that I don't need to have logic. I just have to have faith. What a reminder. What a reminder. Sometimes we want to have it all figured out, but if we just walk by faith, God's already got it worked out. Hey, hello, somebody. And so help us, Lord, please help us to continue to walk out this life by faith. And so God bless you to each of you. Again, thank you so much for joining me for today's episode of the J Bass Today Show. Y'all, I am so excited. You know, one of the things about this season of life for me is it's something when you are seeing prayers answered. You're living in the manifestation of answered prayers. It gives you hope. It gives you faith. It gives you expectation of what God can do with the other prayers that are unanswered, that you're waiting on and believing him for. And this show in itself is an answered prayer. I think of how many years, and I've been sharing this, but how many years I waited for this show to become manifest. And here we are, 29 episodes in. I cannot take any credit. It is nobody but God. In fact, the fact that I would have been out of here a long time ago and would have forfeited all of this certainly makes this nobody but God. And so I'm so grateful to be here and to share with you all. And I share whether anyone comes on or whether anyone actually interacts. And so I don't get that interaction much. I don't get many comments, many likes. But you know what? I'm responsible for showing up here. I'm responsible for making sure that this continues on because I'm the one that God gave the vision to. And even though the show is not in the full manifestation of where what I've seen vision-wise of what God has given me, just to have its foundation, its start, that in itself is a blessing. That in itself is something I do not take lightly. And so with it in its formative years and in formative times, it's no telling what God can and will do through the Jay Bass Today Show. And so I'm so grateful to be here because I am encouraged to be encouraged. Wait, let's see. Y'all, I'm trying to get all this together because you have to lean the opposite way and all this kind of stuff. Make sure my directions are together. Okay. And then my finger disappears. Ah! I tell you this Zoom. My God, bless you, Jesus. All right. I do have an Our Daily Bread, and then I'm going to jump into sharing some things with you. I do want to share with you that I am putting together a panel prayerfully for next week. It is in response to what I'm seeing on an HBO Max show entitled We're Here. And this show was started by some of the RuPaul's Drag Race legends, and watching their stories, watching their evolution, watching their journey and what they're having to endure, especially these past episodes that I'm watching. They're in Oklahoma, and they're in the Bible Belt. They're in areas where people are saying we love Jesus and we're promoting Jesus, but they're also then saying in the same sentence or in the same paragraph, maybe if we take a few bullets to them. And it's, I'm getting off track, but I might as well continue on. That's something we're going to get into in this episode, because our world the truth is there is so much hatred that exists in our world, and it just is the truth. And as you look back at history and all of the things that have been done against certain groups of people, there is so much hatred in our world. And it's not until minds and hearts can really be transformed that we're going to really see any kind of difference. I honor God for those who are being enlightened, who are taking those steps, who are realizing and saying something's wrong with this. We can't keep operating like this. When this semester, was that this semester? Last semester, I took a U.S. history course, and to be honest, I learned quite a bit, but it also was just disheartening to see how, as human beings, we can treat one another in such low, degrading, disrespectful ways and hateful ways. It really is sad. And then, of course, once you've grown up in that and you've experienced it from a young age, you kind of can identify, okay, I've been living in this and recognizing it, but I haven't maybe been able to put the language or the verbiage to explain what this is. And it really is a thing of hate, a big issue that we have of hatred in our world that we need to confront. And the sad part is it's not a confrontation where we're fighting. You see people out protesting, and they got their guns and all these kind of things. But when are we going to be able to, where are the places and the rooms where we're sitting down and having real, mature, adult conversations? I remember, I don't fully remember, but I remember seeing about information or something about a show with Oprah where she actually had members of the KKK come to her her audience and those who were racist in her audience, and to have a discussion with them. And see, those are the kind of discussions I want to have. I do want to be able to talk to other people who have a differing opinion than I have, something that's different, really to be able to talk it through, and not going in as if I'm all right. Now this is what I've grasped thus far, but what I also realize is there's always another perspective. And so with there being another perspective, then there's another way for me to look at this. I just have not arrived at that perspective. And maybe it's meant for you to share your perspective that will help enlighten me in another direction, that, okay, the way I've been looking at this, something was wrong with that. Let me read this based upon what I've already assessed now with the new information that I've received, and take it from here. And it takes wisdom. It takes a willingness to understand, to make the necessary and sometimes hard changes, because if you grew up around racism and that's the story and the narrative that's been painted into your heart, then that's what you got. That is what you have, and you don't know any different until you see and are exposed to something different. And so I'm putting together a panel to talk about that. These part 3 episodes, we're here, and actually the third part is actually released now, and so we'll be watching that hopefully today, and we'll be able to add that into what we will converse about on the episode that the panel will debut. So stay tuned for that. It will be coming in the next, hopefully next few weeks, especially because I'm discovering that June is Pride Month. It's also my birthday month, and I do have a modicum of pride because I thank God for the month that I was born. And so I'm looking forward to even celebrating my birthday, and I do want to invite you all. I honor God. Honor God that there's just so many good things that are going to happen that day. We're expecting some amazing moments on June 16th, one of which is the release of my first single in what, about 7 years? No, I did release Greater. I released Greater. Look at that. Okay, so it hasn't been 7 years since I released. Okay, yeah, because I need to look at the date of Greater. But okay, the next thing, I know it's been 7 years since I released the last CD, because it was 2017. The volume 6 was released. So prayerfully, we're praying that volume 7 will be released. And we made some tremendous headway. And I will be talking about a current fundraiser that we're working on toward the end of this. But that will be released on the 16th. And I'm honoring God. Y'all, this song, I truly know a lot about the grace and mercy of God. It is truly grace and mercy that have kept me and brought me to this moment. And I'm sure that if you understand exactly what grace and mercy are, you will know that they brought you safe thus far as well. And I keep going back to the psalm that says, surely goodness and mercy are following me all the days, and have been following me all the days, will be following me all the days of my life. Oh my gosh. Surely, as I look at some of these days, Lord Jesus, surely. I said surely. And so again, thank you so much for joining me. let's get into this episode. Let's get into this lesson entitled "A New Man." This goes. It speaks volumes to also what I'm looking forward to on my birthday as well, is being rebaptized. This will be my second baptism, of course, and it will actually be 30 years since I've been baptized. And I say this, and I have to share the information, next part of information, because I think it's important to understand why I want to be baptized again and feel like it is a need for me to do this again. When I first was led to do it, it was under the direction of my grandmother, who came to me and said, "You're of age, you need to be baptized." And of course, grandmother speak where we go and we do what grandmother says. And so I was baptized, and as I've grown, as I've matured, as I've learned, I realized that, yes, I did believe. I did believe then, but there's a newness. There's something that I know. There's a lot of things now that I know and experience that I have that I didn't have then, that make me want to do this out of my heart, not out of the request of someone else. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. And so the thought of this lesson really brings to heart and to mind and the thoughts of that baptism. And so a new man. And honestly, it's from the July 31st, Our Daily Bread from 2017. The key scripture is Colossians chapter 1, verse 23, but the reading is Colossians 1, 3 through 14. Verse 23 says, "Continue in your faith, established and firm, and do not move from the hope held out in the gospel." As a group of teenagers visited a home for the elderly in Montego Bay, Jamaica, one young woman noticed a lonely-looking man at the end of the room. He appeared to have little left in this world but a bed to sleep on, a bed from which he could not move because of his disability. The teen began right away to share the story of God's love for us and read some Bible passages to him. As I shared with him, she would later say, I started to feel his eagerness to hear more. Responding to his interest, she explained the wonder of Jesus' sacrificial death for us. It was hard for this man who had no hope and no family, she recalled, to understand that someone he's never met would love him enough to die for him and his sins on a cross. She told him more about Jesus and then about the promise of heaven, including a new body for all who believe. He asked her, will you dance with me up there? She saw him begin to imagine himself free of his worn out body and crippling limitations. When he said he wanted to trust Jesus as his Savior, she helped him pray a prayer of forgiveness and faith. When she asked him if she could get a picture with him, he replied, if you help me sit up, I'm a new man. Praise God for the life-changing, hope-giving, available to all gospel of Jesus Christ. It offers new life for all who trust him. Lord, thank you for the new life we have in Jesus Christ. Help us to share the hope of that new life with others so that they can be made new as well. Jesus offers new life. What a word. What a word. And, we know that the fullness of who we shall be, we won't see that until we reach the other side. This is not it. This is not it. But there is some great expectations that we can have on this side of life. In fact, I've been really at a place where I want to sit down and kind of list these things out. But there's so many benefits from us hearing, believing, accepting, acknowledging, confessing this story of Jesus Christ, this gospel of Jesus Christ. Y'all, we have so many narratives that we are given on a daily basis. So many things that we're told. And this is really what I've been on for really the past few days, for sure. As young children, our lives are shaped by what we see and hear from others. We get criticized, we get encouraged, and it tends to go back and forth. We're torn down, we're built up, and all these, you find that it's so much that happens, and depending on the weight of either one of those sides, it can cause you to start leaning either way. And a lot of times, I think I'm just referring to my own life, being torn down so much seemingly at home, in the community, even at church, at school. I'm like, golly, we're questioning already, who am I? I have my instincts, I have the things that, I'm being led and I'm being drawn to, but I'm also here. What I'm faced with is all I'm hearing is what you all are saying about me and how you're making me feel. And once you get enough of either one of those sides, it really makes a difference on how you look at yourself, how you look at life. And personally, I just felt so torn down most of the time. I'd get happy and somebody would have something to say about it. I'd run and somebody would have something to say about it. And so you start learning to suppress those things and realizing, okay, well, wait a minute. And it leads you to start saying, well, wait a minute, is something wrong? What's wrong with me? It leads you to that question. What's wrong with me? And then you even if you don't have the specific answers, you say something's wrong, and then you realize some of the things that you're drawn to do that are against the word of God or against what you're being told to do. And it's like, okay, oh my gosh, I am what they're saying about me. Because I'm doing this or I've done that. And the truth is, I'm not that. Just because I was drawn to it doesn't mean that there's not going to come a point where I realize this is I might have been drawn to it in one season, but that's not the truth for every season. Ooh, that's a word, Lord Jesus, help me today. I'm thinking about some things, but Lord, help us that it is the truth. And it is hard because there are certain other areas then, that become, okay, God, well, I've cried. And you have to just begin to accept my grace is sufficient. Whether people are saying, that there's no hope for you, you've got to believe that his grace is sufficient. That's literally the only reason to keep going. And then, I think sometimes maybe it would have been better to just go on to those who feel like that you don't deserve to be here because you feel in the same way. You're in agreement with them. And I honor God that he's not in agreement. He's not. It is him that we move. It is in him that we have our being. It's in him. It's in him that we live. It's in him. It's in him. He gave us this breath to breathe. It's him that is causing the blood to still run through our bodies, our lungs to expand as they're supposed to. It's him that's allowing us the activity of our limbs. It's nobody but God. Our lives do not belong to us, nor do they belong to the next man. It's not up to what they say or what they think about you. It's all God's plan. It's all God's purpose and his reason for our existence. A lot of times, because we've had those low experiences in our formative years and don't fully know that who we are, we struggle to discover the purpose of our being here and wondering, God, what is this all about? Why are you allowing me just to keep walking through this life if there's no purpose, there's no plan, there's no strategy? What's up? And the truth is, God always has a plan. He always had a plan. And being able to believe that, that's the key, to believe that. First, to receive that knowledge that he does have a plan for our lives and that he knows the plan he has for us. Realizing that and being able to believe that there's a plan, it makes a difference. It makes a huge difference. Thank God that he sees and he knows where we are, who we are, and what we stand in need of. And so, even though this concept of the new man is not something that is a overnight ding with a wand and you are changed, your hands really look different, your feet, your body, and all of that is new at this very moment. Being able to receive another perspective, a new narrative, another way to look at life, someone else to trust in, to believe in, to put your hope in. What an honor. What a privilege. And so I still always find myself coming back to this. I just don't fully understand how those who don't believe in Christ operate in this life without his knowledge, without knowing him, without having the knowledge of him. Some who don't even want the knowledge of him. How do they operate? How do they cope with these trying days? Because it says our days of a man are filled with trouble. How do you navigate that trouble and you don't have Jesus? You don't have some word of hope to get you through what you're seeing, what you're feeling, what you're experiencing. It's Jesus for me. And so I want to recommend him to you. Let's talk about it. And even if you're one of the unbelievers, let's talk about it. I just want to hear how you get through this. How do you cope with this? How? Because it's not easy. And for me, each walk is different. And I thank God this is a season of evolution. Even coming into 42, I realize there's so much that I'm learning. There's so much that I'm needing in order to really become who God would have for me to be, and to walk in that authority and know my identity, and to be able to really walk in who he made me to be. And so I honor him. I'm not too proud to say that I have not arrived. I thank him for the modicum of wisdom and knowledge that I have gleaned thus far. I can't take anything from that. I can't be, and I will not be made to feel as if I'm just ignorant and don't know. But I do also realize there's more. And I'm still in search and still believe in God. You talk about those prayers that you're still waiting on for the tools of how to really, really be able to navigate life in a way where you recognize who you are, how to deal with the things that you've been through and know what's what, where is the balance between this? Because I really believe this is my belief. The things that happen to us were supposed to happen. As nasty, as degrading, as low, as hurtful as some of those things were, the experiences, especially that we've had with one another, they had to happen because they were part of shaping us into who we are today. And if we hadn't gone through these things, we wouldn't know. I wrote a song that I wouldn't know you talking about God. I wouldn't know him like I do, but I wouldn't know myself like I do. I wouldn't know that he had put a strength in me to be able to overcome some of these things and survive a lot of this that I have. My God, it seemed like really, and especially knowing how low it got to the point of really wanting to give up and was still able to get through that and get past that. It's nobody but God. I give him all the glory. I give him all of the honor. I give him all of the praise because it's nobody but him, period and point blank. And so God bless y'all. This is not a long episode of the J Bass Today Show, but I did want to share with you just those words of encouragement because I know that so many of us grew up being torn down. It's not many who had, and what I love about this, I see a lot of people who have parental issues, and the truth is, we don't know how our parents were torn down and what they've had to adjust through and grow through and why they've arrived at some of the things that they believe and how they operate. We just don't know because every person is shaped differently because we're meeting different people, different things are being said to us, different things are happening. And so we just don't know. That's why it is so important for each of us to have grace for one another. We just have to. And not grace that's going to allow somebody just to continue to belittle you or to run over you or to take advantage of you in a way, but hey, we all have a need for love, for grace, for mercy, each and every one of us. I look up, there's a group of siblings, and one of them has some health challenges and ends up, thankfully, part of the blessing is being able to have your own residence and all of this kind of thing. But it's got to be something mental too. It's more than just the physical because, going a long extended time without bathing, cleaning, and some of the siblings will go and bathe and clean. I see them laugh. I see them take care of, encourage. I see them fall out, but I see them come back together. And when I look and read this shirt, I saw this quote and I asked my brother to come up with a way to make this work. And this is what he had for us. And we did a family event and took pictures. In fact, we have pictures in this shirt. But family is where love begins and never ends. And when you read something like that, and then you see how sometimes that love can be tested between siblings, between cousins, whatever, aunties, uncles, whoever, parents, and all of that, you realize that it's bigger than us. It really is so much bigger than us. And so thank God for the privilege of being able to show love, the privilege of his grace and his mercy. Don't have it all together. Still on the potter's wheel, being made, still being molded. And it's something when you're on the potter's wheel and you're asking God to make it mold you because you recognize that something is wrong. I'm not looking out at the next person, which is a problem that many of us tend to have. I'm looking at you, and everything I'm saying to you is directed at you to tear you down. But I refuse to address my shortcomings and my issues to you. I want to make sure I'm trying to defend myself against you where you're not, even though you're not tearing me down or anything, I still feel something that I need to obviously tear you down. I don't know. But this is the life that we live, and we still have to find a way to have love and grace for one another, that after you get through tearing me down, once we find a way to work through this, once we get the help that we need, that God can truly get the glory out of this, and we can see how this love never ends. Even though it seemed like there was a hiccup, it never ended. The love was always there. We just, and it's a part of life. And so I do pray that you've been blessed. I pray that you've been encouraged by today's episode of the J Bass Today Show. If I could say anything specifically as a word of encouragement, I want to say, if you, and this is the target group, if you're like me and you were torn down in your formative years, and now, you may be in your 20s, 30s, or even your early 40s. You may be even older and still working through this, because it's a life. Some of this can be lifelong to try to grow through. You realize that a lot of how you feel, what you think, what you believe, had been shaped significantly by what people said and did to you. And you want to grow past that. You want to get past that. You want to evolve and learn. I think it is a new level of existence to be able to say, and I'm sorry, I'm thinking, because even though I want to say this, when you've grown up, and especially in our world, there's a there is a modicum of care. There is a bit of care. You do care. You do care. And on one end, you've got to grow to a place where you don't care what people have to say. You know who you are. You're walking in your authority, who God has created you to be, to the best of your ability. daily, you're working towards your dreams, your goals, even if that's a struggle, you're doing what it is you know to do to the best of your ability, trusting God to the best of your ability. That and a lot of times it can seem like nothing, you're not making any progress, but trust God. You can trust God that He is the one who will complete the work that He started in you. And so let me get back on focus. If you're the one who had those formative years of being torn down, I want you to know that you can have a different mindset. There is a you that is different from what they were saying about you. They are saying what they saw, but you've got to see and say what God sees and knows. There is something in you that God put in you that is special about you, that is unique, that makes you one of those who is priceless and have so much to offer. Don't you dare continue to allow what people have to say to affect you in a way that causes you to give up, to slow up. I think, it's 7 years because I slowed up because of what people were saying about my music. And I realized, I was thinking, okay, well, maybe then I just need to have somebody else. I'm getting off again. Maybe I need to have someone else, but this is an example. I need to have someone else to produce my music. And that's not what God gave me. In fact, I was taken back. What was that? A lot of this I'm dealing with now. So it might have been yesterday, it might have been a day before. I was thinking, as a youth growing up, learning to play the piano, I was probably 13, 14, 15, 16, somewhere in there. I got a dual cassette karaoke. This is one of my life stories. And I would be in my room recording, moving those tapes back and forth, flipping them so that I can build my band. And it was just an experience writing music, rearranging hymns and stuff. And so doing that, and I still have a lot of that stuff now. I'm looking at the tote right now that has those tapes in it. And I've moved a lot of it onto a computer and made it MP3. And I think I even have put it into external hard drive. But being able to understand that God was then making me and preparing me to record and to become one who would basically produce and record my own music, because it's my fuel, it's my thought. I just need the right engineer, which I believe God has allowed me to cross paths with now, who knows how to engineer the music right and make it sync right and those kind of things, and help me add a few little feels and things to it to spice it up. And yeah, you do your own music. And it's taken 7 years up to now, like this is a recent discovery, to realize you do this yourself. What you've been thinking, you've allotted all this time. The guy in the studio that I'm working with, Art Keys, has he said something on a video that we just recorded and filmed that got my attention. And I knew this because of the time frame in which I was able to get volumes 2 through 6 done, along with the other CD projects, which started basically from the end of 2012 through 2017, in the 5-year span. How many CDs and a number of songs that were done and released and recorded during that time. In 2012, I started recording volume 2, and I had to wait till I believe 2014, which from really the releases and the mixing and mastering, all that other stuff, really started happening and working on the next volumes 3 through 6, and all of that was done starting in 2014 through 2017. So in 3 years to get so much done, traveling back and forth, and the thing is, if I was just home recording and it's just me and I don't have to wait on anybody else, woo, there's no telling how much I could get done. Lord have mercy. But I'm always in, and that's kind of a thing that I feel like the enemy's trying to exploit too, is the heart for always wanting to include others. I have a friend that I've grown up with, and one of him saying to me when I recorded something was, well, why did you come in, call us to come in to help you with the vocals? And so that made me think, okay, something is wrong with the way I sound by myself. And I come to realize, of course, too, in that's a wrong perspective. I'm not sure if that's what he was getting at, and I'm believing not. But either way, I'm thinking it was just that, to let me know you do have people who are willing to help. And he has helped me on multiple of those CDs, even including the current ones that I'm working on. But if I was doing it by myself, I don't have to wait and try to get schedules together. The thought of what could be done by now. And so just be encouraged and know that God is up to something in our lives, and that one of the most life-changing messages that I've heard by Bishop Jakes is that nothing will be wasted. He said, I don't know if that was actually a sermon title or if that was just something that was said in the title, but nothing. Let me make sure. I don't remember, so let me just make sure. I don't know if it was a sermon title or if it was just part of the sermon, something that was said during the sermon. Okay, nothing will be wasted. And so even though we were torn down, even though we had the negative experiences, God will not allow those experiences to be wasted. He has a way of using it for his glory, whether that be to be able to minister to somebody else who has gone through something similar, or how he turns it around and works it in another way. Maybe a song is birthed, maybe a book is written, whatever. God will not allow what we've gone through to be wasted. And he has a way of transforming us over time. We just have to be patient with ourselves. This new man does not happen overnight. I think that's one of our biggest issues, is we expect that the transformation should be right away, instant, suddenly. Woo! But it didn't happen like that. That's not the order of life. It's not microwave. It's something that you have to be patient with. And so we have to be patient with one another. And more than that, learning how to be patient with yourself and your process. Oh my gosh, that I can tell you, that's something I struggle with. And so God bless y'all for the third time. I pray that you have been blessed and encouraged by today's episode of the J Bass Today Show. Oh, you know what? Oh no, I will share this. All right, I'm gonna turn off my immersive screen that shows this beautiful, what was that? I don't know why my picture's back there, but I can't, how that's doing it. But hey, okay. I don't know if y'all can see that my face was right here somewhere. But anyway, I'm leaving the immersive view. I'm going to show you this. All right, I want to show you this fundraiser. I've printed out this poster board to have an actual physical keyboard that I can write the names of those who are willing to give toward the JBM Keys fundraiser. The reason for the fundraiser is to help me unlock my musical dreams. All right. And that's from I said, will you help me unlock? Because there's keys, a key unlock, even though we're talking about piano keys. But will you help me unlock my musical dreams, which is to complete these next volumes of my original music. And as it was said, it's not my work ethic, and I honor God for that. It's not my discipline. I thank God for that, because once I get into it, it's time to work. I'm gonna work. I get excited. I start getting into it. I'm starting to hear things. It's not that. It's the finances. You do all that work, and then your music has to sit back, because I do, it was one thing it was cheaper to be able to do it myself and to edit and then send it off for mixing and mastering and just pay for mixing and mastering and pay for the drummer. But now I'm having to pay for quite a bit more. And so ultimately, in order to record these next 4 volumes, the way it looks, and as I've calculated, it's going to cost around $30,000 to complete these next volume. And see, every volume has 15 songs. The only one that will have less is volume 10. And the only reason I'm doing that is because I was so excited with volume 6. And there was one song that I just wanted and felt like I had to put out. It was Just Come to Christ. So I made a 16 song volume, which is volume 6. It's always going to be the special volume. And add number 10, they're both going to balance each other out. But that's still, 59 songs? And so you start looking at the price that it costs to do the production, the vocals, the mixing, the mastering, the drums. Even though I'm taking off a lot of costs by doing a lot of the music myself, that's the difference. That makes a difference. Being able to do and realizing that I can do a lot of the music myself, that makes a difference. But it's still, those other things are still costly. And so it is going to take me a lot. And so we're doing all we can to try and raise the funds to get these CDs done. If funds weren't an issue, let me tell you, I already know the volumes would be done. I have most of them mocked up already in my computer now. They're songs that are done that, just need to come back in and really produce now. It's written, it's ready. Work been done. But I just need the funds to be able to get it released. And I thank God I've met so many people over this musical journey. So many. And music has brought me into contact with so many people, especially in the gospel music. It's brought me into contact with so many people. I've had the opportunity to work with so many people. And sometimes it gets disheartening, because I do share what I, as a musician, as my job, and I do think times, and I keep praying, ask God to possibly open a door for me to do something extra race, to go work somewhere, to get some extra funds to get this done. But I know I have to be patient. I have to trust him that even if he sends strangers, a lot of these keys are taken by someone that I met online. I met on Facebook, and who has seen the journey and who believes and who has already stated, I'll go to bat for you. I'm like, oh, okay. But when you do stuff like this, hey, oh my gosh, I believe you. And then I see what the work that you're doing in your own city. Oh my goodness. And so that is encouraging. And it says, God can send strangers to bless you. And but it's sad because you think, I've worked with all these people. Did they not notice? Did they not see that there's something here? And when you hear the music, do you not hear that there's something there? I don't know. But what I do know is that what I bring home takes care of home. And I do put that I can take, that's left over after home, to add to the music, or towards what needs to be done to get other things that have to be done, like a photo shoot. I just paid a significant amount of money, a couple of $100s, to have a photo shoot done. And you have to do that to have a CD cover. And I paid for that out of my pocket. I'm still sitting on fundraising money to be turned in to the studio. And I want to invite you all to support. You see all the information here of how you can support. It's $20 per key. If you have Zelle, it's 409-996-8791. If you have Cash App, it's $J Bass Ministries. You can support however many keys you want to buy. If you have a group and they want to buy a group of a certain amount of keys, all the help I can get, I will appreciate. There's a group on Facebook that I started entitled J Bass Ministries Angels. And in this group, I've added people who over the years have supported J Bass Ministries, who have supported this music ministry, who have supported me in ways that I remember and were significant. And if I've left anybody out, listen, charge it to my head and not to my heart. And all I need is a simple reminder, no extra attitude and all that stuff. Just remind me, and believe me, I will add you right away, because when you say that you did, I'm like, oh yeah, look, just that quick, without all the extra drama. But if you've not ever done anything and you're looking and you're saying, wait a minute, it's something about this guy, and it's something he's doing something. I see he's not just dragging his feet. I see he's not just asking for a handout. I see how he has invested in himself. If you need further proof of the investments, I invite you to come to my house. You need to make an appointment, but I will show you. I can show you the investments that I have made into my own music ministry, and not just music ministry, period. I have invested and will continue to invest. So I don't ask people to just give me money just to be, and I'm not doing anything. I'm constantly believing in this and proving it by what I give financially and my time. And so I thank you for those of you who have, and those of you who want to know our progress as it relates to the music. That's why I created the J Bass Ministries Angels. I wanted those who have given to be able to see where your money is going, that I am paying. And when we pay, this is what the payments are doing. This is what we're able to do. And because of those payments, the first single of Volume 7 is paid for. It's completely done. All I'm doing now is I've received my pictures back, but I'm struggling to see a picture that I think is the right picture for this particular song. album cover, and so, or a single cover, Lord Jesus. And we, kind of working through that. But otherwise, once I get that taken care of, it will be sent over to CD Baby to start being worked up to be made available for its release date on June 16th. And so I honor God for that. I honor God. Several songs have been started in the studio. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, all, and I mean all, every one of the 15 tracks that will be included in Volume 7 have been started in the studio. We just got to go in and finish them up. And so the money is being put to use, and your support will mean so much. I have a responsibility to keep sharing this because I believe sooner or later somebody will hear, somebody will believe, and somebody will support. All right. And so God bless you all. Again, thank you so much for joining me for today's episode of the J Bass Today Show. I pray that you all have an amazing Thursday, an amazing weekend, and I will see you on the next episode.
It's the J Bass Today Show. And if you change your attitude, you can change your life. Yeah, it really is. Yeah, I found out. Now I'm telling you.